Always the Scientologist.
Oh, we're live. Okay. Should be working now. I think there's a slight delay. So I just want to make sure. It says this is the technology, it says we're live. So there's a big delay. I will say that.
We are live. TSTO is dead.
Wow. And we go dark really quickly.
Oh, there we go.
Live the king.
Technology, it says we're live. All right, so we're live now to everyone, but there's a big
we are
delay.
Live. TSTO is dead.
It's like I think it's a good 20-second delay. So
we can talk to ourselves over here really and answer over here. So
there we go.
Live the king.
Technology, it says we're live. All right, so we're live now to everyone, but there's a big
we are
delay.
live.
So let's officially get started. All right, now that I know that we're in fact live. So as we always start, hello, fellow addicts. This is truly Addicts Live. I got to watch it on this screen because I can actually see us. Here it's very delayed because I'm trying to watch the comments too. This is truly an Addicts Live because for the first time, I think since 2016, we're actually live, which is amazing. So you guys may see, normally you see Safi and I, so you've got some other familiar faces, or maybe not so familiar to some people. But we have, obviously, you guys know Super Safi in the bottom corner there. And then next to Super Safi, we have the one, the only Wookiee.
Hey.
And
that's below for me. So
you said next to, but he's diagonal from me.
On my screen, which is the one that's on the streaming screen, I know. So it should make sense to everyone. And then above Super Safi, we have the one, the only, the crankiest of them all, especially now, cranky old guy.
What's up? What's up? I found the togs. I brought them out. I still exist, at least as long as I wear this outfit. That's it. So
we're really just gonna talk. I mean, I feel like we all need a big group therapy session, and that's kind of just what we're gonna do because we were all blindsided by this. We had no idea this was coming. I know some people think that we had insight from EA. We knew probably 2 minutes before they posted it on Facebook, so we knew nothing. We all kind of got hit with this. It was shocking, at least for me. I was a bit dumbfounded by it. I, like many people, thought that this was a joke at first because the email we got was, for the final time. I thought our contact at EA was just going away or not working for EA anymore. And as I read more, I was like, nope, that's not good. And then I continued to read and I was like, well, that's really not good. So that's how I felt. And then I went from shock to... I was never really angry. I will say that. This game has been on for a very long time. 12 years is a long time for a game. So I wasn't angry. I'm a little upset that the game itself is going away and you can't even keep your old Springfield. But I was more sad. I think that better describes my feelings. What about you guys? Who wants to go first? You want me to just pick somebody?
Start. I got that email. I started reading it as well. And I went through the entire Kubler-Ross stages of grief right there. Like initially with denial there. I'm like, no way, this is not happening. Then I channeled my inner cranky old guy and got angry. And I'm like, what is going on? How can you do this? This is not fair. I spent thousands of dollars in this game and you're doing this. Then went into bargaining and was like with other people going to the change.org and looking at the petition and reaching out to the developer contact and being like, really, what's going on? Trying to bargain my way to see if there's anything that can be done. And since then, it's been depression with brief moments of acceptance. But then I go through the comments.
At you, I'm laughing with you.
Thanks, Greg. But yeah, I go through the comments and see other people's depression, and then through empathy, I go back from acceptance to depression, and then it's constantly going between depression and acceptance for me.
Yeah. Joe?
I mean, look up the video of the draft going through the 5 stages of grief, and I'm probably at the head under the quicksand point now. Like, I'm going real fast. I know, like, the wife, like, when I told her the news, was just like, how are you? Are you okay? And, like, we sort of talked before we went live. Like, it's the passing of a friend, right? Whether it's your close friend or somebody you tangentially were like, hey, you still alive? Okay. And, like, this text, they were like, no, got bad news.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, like it's bonkers.
It's like your dog died. Like it's just you don't quite know what to do. It's not like a parent died, but it's like your dog died. I mean,
yeah, it is weird. I mean, me being the oldest by several decades, I believe in some cases here.
He's referring to me. He's older than me by several decades.
Exactly. No, I mean, we just went through like a 50th high school reunion, a couple of years ago, these kinds of things. So what happens at my late stage in life is you start accepting that everything has a life cycle and people do pass away, and you never want to believe that it really is the end, particularly with people or things or items you like. This last couple of years has gone through a ton of changes, in general, about life in general. So I wasn't surprised. It was weird. I wasn't surprised, but at the same time, the finality of giving us a date was, I talked to my wife, who used to be actually a grief counselor when she first started working as a counselor. And I said, well, this is weird. This is like you have a relative or a friend in hospice, and you don't even really believe they're really going to pass until the hospice worker says, yeah, they're going to probably be gone on Tuesday or Wednesday. That's what, all indications. When they gave us a date, it was like, it was a combination of grief and panic. It was like, holy crap, I have to figure out how I'm going to save my town. Oh my God, I have to, it's like building a eulogy or I'm literally going through this process of how do I build some kind of a service for my town. Here's the obituary. Here's the service. Here's how I'm going to try and save it for posterity. We'll see. It's going to be hilarious. The next month and a half, crazy.
We got plenty of graveyards for you to lay out around your Springfield.
Yeah.
Just blow up your town and just use all the cemetery stuff and be like, there you go. All the characters are wandering aimlessly. There's no roads.
Well,
this morning was hard because today's the first time I opened up the new screen that was the final screen. That was weird because I'd seen it in the dialogue. I ran the whole dialogue yesterday and I saw it, but then to open up this morning and have that there was like, whoa, this is weird. This is weird. Sad,
I'm just putting the link on Facebook. Sorry. So we want to hear from you guys because that's a big thing too. Like we want to hear what you guys have to say. I will tell you that the site has had a lot of comments on it. It actually felt like the old days. It was very busy. Every time I would clear comments, it would refresh and there would be more comments. So it was nice to see because as of right now, it looks like there's 396 comments on the end of the tapped out post, which is it's very sad, but also really good to see that the community that we built now 11 years ago, August of 2013 is when we started. So the community that we built 11 years ago, while silent for a little while or not as vocal, comes alive when you need them to. So it was very heartening to see that, and I love to see that. So we definitely want to hear from you guys. I know everybody's we've got comments we're going to read from the site, but also we have the chat is very active right now. But I also want to kind of preface this by saying we're not, I know a lot of you know this already, but we're not EA. We don't work for EA. We don't get paid by EA. We know nothing from EA. We don't work for Fox. We don't work for Disney. We know nothing. We're just a group of people who got together many, many years ago and started a website about a game that we all love and built this community. We have no association with EA.
Joe works for Disney, so this is his fault.
Just to be clear, so I don't get fired, while I do work for the Walt Disney Company, nothing I say expresses the intent or statements or declaration of said company.
And listen, Joe works on Batu, so Batu
Yeah.
has nothing to do with Spring.
I'm a Star War. Just someone give me the Ralph Wiggum Leia muffs and make me yellow. I am a Star Wars.
So I just want, like, so I know a lot of you are upset that you've spent actual money in this game and you're upset, and what do you want? We have no control over that. I too have spent thousands of dollars in this game, and there's nothing I can do about it at this point other than appreciate that it gave me entertainment. And we don't know what's going to happen. There is a petition going around online to keep the game alive in some capacity without updating it. I got to be honest, guys, I don't think that that's going to end like in the way that you all hope it will. It's great that everybody's coming together to do that, but I personally, this is my own opinion, I have no inside knowledge, but I personally think this has to do with the licensing between The Simpsons and EA more than anything, and that's probably why they're fully pulling it from, not just from the App Store, but fully pulling it from their servers. So that's my own opinion as far as that's concerned. I know some of these guys share that same opinion.
Yeah. Well, you brought it up when we were off screen there that Family Guy stayed up, but it's, again, they have the licensing to do it. So it's a complicated world out there right now, particularly with copyrights and AI and all the other things that are going on. People are really fighting hard for ownership. So, this is the way it felt to me too. Something went sideways. Because our belief was the game would stay up as long as the TV show was up.
And we've been right all this time.
Yeah, all this.
Well, like there was a bit of dialogue too, even where they're like, as long as the Simpsons are around, and they're like, you hear that, Disney? And I was like, oh, is that like a subtle like jab at something behind this? Because a lot of the voice actors aren't getting younger. And I think they renewed for at least one more season, but we are reaching the point where like Simpsons might stop like at 34, 35, 36, years. And that might be part of it too.
Well, the Harry Shearer scare was about as close as they came, about a year and a half ago or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's astounding to me that the Simpsons in general continues to chug along. In spite of itself in some ways, has highs and lows. The game has been relatively static in comparison. I continue to play every day. As I was saying to Alissa, it was my wake-up thing. You get up, put the coffee on, go to the game. It took like 5 minutes to play, to do whatever you're going to do, because I still farmed donuts and all the stuff I used to do. But so that, I will miss that ritual, as it were. But when you really think about it, the game itself hasn't really progressed a whole lot for several years. So, I guess I understand why people are upset. But those of us that have been playing it since 2011 remember when it was really something. It was a really challenging game to keep up on. It kept going and going and going. So anyway.
Whacking day.
Oh, yeah.
Stone cutters.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump into the chat and just read a couple things. Oh, I also want to say, too, there is an issue with the donut conversion thing, and EA sent out a thing. In true EA fashion, it wouldn't be an update unless there was a problem. So they pulled it out for now. It should be coming back. It should be restored. So don't mess with any of the donut conversion stuff for now. So just keep that in mind. There is a problem. It will be fixed. It will be addressed.
What are you going to use it for? There's nothing in the store. It's just like a negative sign.
No. And I'm still, in all honesty, I'm still really pissed that there is no World's Giant toilet. I'm very upset about that.
As you should be.
So,
I was close too.
That was supposed to be the end of the game. It all was going to be flushed away. I'm very upset.
Ooh. What if that's what happens?
If you have to wait out, though, Alyssa, the cons of not getting the toilet versus the pros of getting a shout out on a game like EA, where everyone saw like TSTO Addicts. As the mother of TSTO Addicts, like how much pride did you feel reading that and seeing that? How surprised were you at that?
Oh, in the game?
We've always known.
That was funny. I was like, oh, the largest. I was like, yeah, no duh. So
Yeah.
it's something like we've known that. But you guys, everybody here and everybody watching, hopefully knows me by now that I've been doing this for, like I said, 11 years. I don't need accolades. I've never needed accolades. I know what I know, and that's okay with me. I don't need my ass kissed. So, but it was really nice to see that they acknowledged us. And it was nice to finally get a little bit of recognition from EA in that regard. It was really nice, and nice to get it in a way that wasn't like, it was a joke, but it wasn't. They didn't make a joke out of us. They made a joke when they talked about all the stuff years ago with Lame Zeno and everything. They made jokes out of all of their names. We truly got it. We got a true official TSTO shout out, better than a buried Wookiee. It's the buried Wookiee. That's Wookiee in the game. Buried Wookiee.
I've been dead for a long time.
So it was really, it was nice to see. And I listen, I got kicked out of the game yesterday, I think, like a lot of people did, when the servers went wonky because everybody suddenly logged into the game. So I didn't get to finish. I didn't even get to see it in my game. It was from Pat sent it to me, somebody else sent it to me. So that's, but I will say I was screen recording because somebody had mentioned we got a shout out. So I was like, well, let me screen record as I go through the dialogue, because that's something I want to remember. That like that was a nice touch from EA that they didn't have to do. So I'm very appreciative that they did.
My wife says, "What are you doing?" As I was snapping everything, I was screen grabbing every single thing. "What are you doing? What's going on?" I said, "You don't want to know. I'll tell you in a while." You know.
You just want to preserve it all.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I took screenshots of all of it too. So
every bit of dialogue was. Yeah, I got to keep it. This is it. This is history.
The wife was like, "Aww." She's like, "Show me your phone. I deleted that app."
Well, she has until October 31st or something, October 24th, to download it again.
I think she just got
my kids were the ones that were freaked out. They were worried that I was going to be on suicide watch or something. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I've been through worse than this. This is bad, but I'm not on suicide watch. I'm good.
The best thing is, the four of us, I've seen Joe probably more times the last year than I've seen him the last 5 years. But the four of us, we're always going to be, Pat and I still text randomly when something pops up and something just makes one of us think of the other one. Joe and I talk. Saf and I obviously talk probably the most because of Addicts Live, or, well, the spoiler videos, which now we no longer have to do, Saf. But
other reasons to talk.
our friendships are still good. So I think that helps me not be so sad. And as far as
we've had lunch in New Jersey, for God's sake, several times. We've watched your kids grow up from little to huge. Yes, that will continue.
When this site started, I wasn't married and I didn't have children. And now I've been married for almost 11 years and I have 3 children. So that's a big testament. Like I know a lot of people were saying they were 9 when they started playing and now they're 20. It's a big, it's a lot of your life with this. And we all kind of, I don't want to say we grew up together, but for a lot of us, we did. And as far as the site goes and the community goes, we were just talking about this offline. I don't think, I'm not going to shut the site down. I've always kind of said that. There's too much on there. And stuff that has nothing to even do with the game itself. There's a lot of game content, but there's stuff, I just can't bear myself to get rid of that. So the site will stay active at least for a period of time. I may downgrade it a little bit and do things like that, but everyone can kind of still communicate with each other. And if they do bring something else out and it makes us want to, get together and start a new game forum, we can do that too. I will say, I've always said, if I turned 40 and this game was still going, which I think I was the kiss of death for this, but I probably would walk away, and I'm not 40 yet, but when the game ends will be the year that I turned 40. So, sorry.
Well, here's the sad part about this whole conversation now. When I started playing TSTO, I was old. I'm still old. I'm really old. I just turned 70 this last year. So one of us is nuts, Anyway.
Me too. I was doing the calculation. I'm like, I spent over a quarter of my life playing this game. Yeah. It was just all the processing that was going on. It's like that's a huge chunk. Like, I don't think I've committed to anything as long as that. Like, I had another game that I played for the past 5 years, DC's Injustice, with like building your Batman and Superman collection and all your superheroes collection. And that game ended last October as well. And they kind of went through the same process. Give us a notice, they'll pull it from the server after 3 months. And they gave away tons of free currency. Like for one in-game cash, you were getting the equivalent of like 50,000 donuts. And it was just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm like, oh my God. So that kind of did help me prepare for this transition here. But still, it's nothing compares to like over a quarter of your life. Like, this is just a huge investment.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I was saying before is true as well for me, is that this game came along at a time that I needed the game to come along. I was transitioning from, business-wise. I had as those of you who know me, I'd gone through the whole California Raisins thing and all these things. I knew Matt Groening. There was all these different things that connected me to this game. And the number of things in our lives that tied together, from my daughter going to Africa to marriages and weddings and all these things that tied through these games that I shared on the forum, it was like a diary. It was kind of like almost like a life diary on some level, and how we all connected was real. I mean, it was real. It was as real as being next door neighbors in some respects. So yeah, that part's going to be hard to let go of. And, I'm going to go back and I'll take a look. I'll do some kind of a post. I don't know what I'm going to do, but yeah, there's so many bullet points. You go, and this year, this happened this year, and this is how we wrote that. Yeah. To actually go back and just throw it away is kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
And we'll try to, as the game itself winds down, we'll try to get together and, as our schedules allow, and maybe do more live streams now that I've figured it out. We'll try to do more live streams too, and kind of talk about like our favorite Halloweens and our favorite like that type of stuff.
Right.
We will try to do that. And if you guys, there's something if you want us to continue, like Safi and I have no problem continuing to do like a video of some sort. If you guys want us to talk about like something Simpsons related or not Simpsons related, like I don't have a problem. Like, we love this community. I love this community. It's afforded me a lot of things. It's taught me how to do a lot of things. And, I'm okay with however you all want us to continue moving, continue along. So I do want to get to some comments though, because the chat on the YouTube live stream is very full. I love seeing you guys all interact with each other. We also have a lot of comments too. And so if you guys have questions too, ask them, and we can try to pop into them. I'm going to try to get to some of these comments. So I'm also going to work from the bottom up, because if I work from the top down, it's going to be way off the conversation. So let's see. John Bear says, I remember the way I tested the latest iDevices graphics was to open TSTO on it. So they tested the latest graphics on the iPhone to see how TSTO would look. And I'm really going to miss Treehouse of Horror. I looked forward to it every year. It is a shame that they ended this right before Halloween and Christmas, the two best times.
That seemed lazy to me. That's the one thing I was angry about, is they could have gone out on a high note instead of this. This was kind of lazy.
Joe Money wants to know, how about more showcases show-offs, I'm presuming, before the end? I'm proud of my designs and want to show them off. Absolutely. We will do a lot of show-offs. John D says, hey gang, did anyone else read the description with the update, Treehouse of Horror update, and think maybe this is a joke? Is that about AI taking over?
Doesn't feel like a joke.
It's not a joke.
It wasn't funny. It was the dialogue was funny when you went through the deal, in a heartfelt way. But no, the way they dropped it, and the very fact that, again, the way we were, I texted Alissa right away, and we didn't get the email from EA until well after we had already figured it out. And so to verify what was going on. So I thought that was cheesy. I mean, that was not cool. It was not cool.
CMF Drama 2 said, maybe EA will watch this and give you the giant toilet. They did give the site a shout out in the dialogue. I would love that. I would love to have the giant toilet finally after 11, 12 years.
With your face on it, I think. Your face.
No, I don't need my face on a toilet. It would be appropriate, though, because we just potty trained our last child, so it would be appropriate.
Send us the secret.
Paul Einstone says, I think from all the mystery tokens we were getting, the clues were there that it was coming to an end. Content was running dry. I would like to say that that's a thing, but we've always been getting mystery box tokens for the last 8 years, so it's not.
Yeah, no.
And 831 characters. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, inevitable that they would start running a little bit low on content in terms of characters.
Kathy Steinmetz said, daughter has a great idea. Screenshot your town and have it made into a 1,000-piece puzzle. Joshua Jones says 100-piece puzzle. So, let's see. When all the land was unlocked, I thought it meant we were good for a while. Yeah, apparently that's an old, pull the rug right out from underneath you. Let's see. Tanya says, I am sad that it's over, but I'm okay with it. They built a fun game that I played for a decade. I was happy to give them money to keep it going. I appreciate your website and the community. Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, people that are upset about money need to think about how much they spend on the next time they go to Starbucks. How long do you keep that coffee in you?
That's why I switched to Keurig, and I have like 8 cups a day now.
There you go.
Us says, licensing helps. It makes sense. EA just announced Sims 4 would never die, despite the fans wanting Sims 5. And Spence said, shouldn't EA explain the reasons? So if it's licensing, they should at least explain. They really don't have to. They can.
And they're not going to.
And it may come out.
Embroiled. No.
It may come out like 5 years from now that they lost the licenses or on a conference call with their investors or something like that. But they don't really owe us anything.
These are real companies. These are real companies with real profits and stockholders and all that stuff. No, they're not going to tell us. It doesn't matter.
We even said there was that dialogue about Broadsword, which is like an online game that does one of the Star Wars games. So there's completely a chance that like it just got sold off for profit and that company is like, no, we're not going to keep going, or the license or whatever.
I thought the most dangerous thing in my life was when I met Matt Groening, I want to say 4 years ago now, at a thing in Portland when he came back to Lincoln High School. He referred to that game as, oh yeah, one of our guys still plays that, I think. Uh-oh, that's not good. Don't you do the screens for these things? You know, so, okay.
I mean, I think he's connected to it like Lucas is connected to Star Wars, you know? Like, he builds a thing.
He does those opening screens, though. He still signs those. I don't know. Maybe he's got
just like Walt Disney is signing everything that they do.
Okay. I get it.
I mean, he is frozen. So.
M, right?
I mean, Walt's coming back to life. He's going to be a robot on Main Street. Just you wait.
Somebody said though the new splash screen, and I don't know. Somebody said the new splash screen isn't signed. So that's something. Miles said there's one line of dialogue about towns that were terrifying, and I want to know what they were referencing. Does anybody have a clue about that?
With everything being plopped.
It may be the screen grab reference. It was kind of cryptic. It was, you better screen grab there was like 1-2 little lines of dialogue about screen grabbing, but yeah. I don't know that a lot of people are really aware that feature's even there, really.
So, Paul wants to know, how did the relationship with the creators come about? Did they reach out to you or another way? Ooh, someone's at Wookiee's front door.
It's Disney coming to get his Leia ears.
So as far as the EA reached out to us. They contacted us, and we weren't the only ones. They contacted a lot of people that do other forms of content, like the Wiki and Casey Loves Gaming and the TO UK site. Like they reached out. They're very much in the know of what's happening. So they reached out to them, and they had us all sign an NDA. And it was a very good relationship it was very helpful for 6 years. Although we did have a period of time where they stopped sending us stuff. I think it was more an EA thing where they just didn't have the appropriate person. But then we had a new contact that came along, and she's been phenomenal as far as sending us things and responding to things. So shout out to her. I don't want to say her name, but if she's watching, because I feel like EA is always watching, thank you very much for all of your help and support and responding to issues and being so attentive to the communities. Really appreciate that.
As far as people watching, I want to do a shout out to Fred, who just texted me, who said he's watching, but he won't see this for 20 seconds, you said, right?
I think it's about a 25-second delay, maybe 40. Teddy Roosevelt says, is there a petition to EA to keep TSTO going? There are several. There's a couple linked on our site in the comments. I'm not going to promote any particular one because I don't think that that's fair to anyone, but also we all kind of agree. I don't think it's going to do much, especially if it's a licensing issue. Puzzle Nerd says best town live contest. We could do that. We could do a best town. We can do some submissions where we let you guys, now that I figured out how to live stream and I can screen share and I can do all kinds of fun things. Technology is great. We can do some things where you guys send us your towns. We could go visit them and we can, scroll around and show them off. We totally can do that.
The whole town might be hard because the grab is low res. I've come in. Maybe we should figure out some categories.
Well, I was saying like live on the phone. Like I can put it on my phone and we can view their towns that way. We go. Like we can probably do something where we have a few of you submit your towns. Oh, penguins. A few of you submit.
Sorry, I was trying to get rid of something.
It wouldn't be a video call unless, like, listen, I've seen people do news interviews and all of a sudden they get balloons appear, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's right.
It's technology.
And for the record, the Scientologists at the door were just interested in, and so everything's fine. Everything's good. They finally found me.
Someday they're going to get you, Joe. Someday.
Every time I go to Hollywood, there's a part of me that's a little worried. Like,
as you should be.
Donut Gaming says, we need Gil as a Gil deal in Act 5. So they want Gil to... That's a big regret a lot of people have. No Gil. Gil hasn't become a playable character.
I mean, yeah, but, like, also Lyle Landley, like, showed up, like, as an NPC for, like... one moment it was in text bubbles, and that's just the very nature of the thing. Like, yes, Santa finally came. Okay, we got our one thing, but
yeah.
Justin,
I would trade a couple of the multiple homers for one, of the characters we really don't have. But
I mean, I think I would be, if Gil finally showed up, I might like devolve into tears because I would really feel like death. You know what I mean? Poor old Gil. He's finally in the game. Like,
yeah.
Just the dialogue of him being like, "I'm rich," and the game's ending, and he's like, "Oh." Yeah, leave Gil alone.
Justin says, how did I never even think this was a Disney EA contract thing? Disney did the same with Marvel Heroes Online.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of apps are actually changing right now because, like, the boys, they watch Disney Now, and then there was like a Nickelodeon thing, and all those apps are like ending, and they didn't even give warning. They're just like, it's not a thing anymore. And last night, Disney Now, I was like, that's what he watches for 5 minutes, like, every night. Like, are you kidding me? I gotta send him to YouTube. Hi, YouTubers. But like, yeah, like, it's just
hello to our YouTube overlords.
It's a thing.
I'm not going away. I've got to plug in my iPad here. It's we've already killed it.
Well, if you were going away, this isn't the right way to do it. There is an end button.
Turn your video off like I did.
Chris says, THOH and Christmas updates were the best. My nostalgia kicks in hard, and I'll try to fill the gap by watching THOH and Christmas episodes, but it won't be the same.
I wish I got snow one more time. I'm not going to lie.
Should just make it snow. Like, before they pull the game, they should just, like, make it snow.
Okay, does everybody want an awe moment? So my youngest grandson is 6 years old. For the last 4 years, because they live in New Jersey, we don't see each other as much as we'd like to. But his favorite thing to do with Boopaw, as he calls me, is to open up the game and then go through several of the animations. The one where the guy flies from the parachute hits. He loves it when the monkey falls from the building. He rides the train all the way around my many monorails. I don't know how I'm going to break it to him. It's dead.
Oh.
I told you it was going to. I told you you're going to have an on.
Well, you just kicked me right in the feels. Thanks, Pat.
I'm sorry about that. No, it's true. It's like we have lots of rituals. Obviously, I have a full train set, all the things that grandpas are supposed to do. But invariably, he'll go, "Can we do The Simpsons now?" And it's like, yeah, okay. Because he loves the monkey. He likes the escalator. There's several that are funny animations that just he'll laugh hard every time. I will have to find. I've got a video of him laughing at it. So
I'm wondering. Does Grandpa still throw stuff into the black hole in your town every day?
Oh yeah,
because I'm like, if you stop that, maybe that's why the game ends.
No. I have a number of weird things that I refuse to let go, and I refuse to ever change. And yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, Grandpa's throwing stuff. There's a bunch of them.
I mean. Yeah. I was like strolling through my town before we were recording and just sort of like being nostalgic, and like the escalator to nowhere that drops people into the prison repeatedly, like in my town. Yeah. I just was like, oh, someday that'll stop.
Yeah. No, mine drops them into the basement in Frank's lab. So
okay,
it makes sense, but whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's so many things that I'm surprised that Jake remembers. I mean, there's probably 6 or 7 animations that he just goes through and cycles. He'll just sit there and watch them. Oh no, the one that's hilarious is the one in that's in the. I've got it in my military camp, but it's like the kid that runs across the pond that looks like it's like rocks, and it turns out that it's a kid with an army helmet on, and he gets up and he spits out water after she's beat this blocking dummy or something. But I have a whole mess of sound effects to go with it, and he just cracks up every time. So I'm gonna have to screen grab that and save it. Oh, videos. Oh,
there should be a lot.
I have to go now. No.
So Kelly's song just says hello. So hi, Kelly's. I know she watches a lot of our videos. Goza de Producer says, can we play the game offline in the future? No. Once they pull it, they pull it. The servers are going to cease to exist in January. There is talk from some people about making it available. I just don't see that happening. But you never know. Never say never. Spence says that if we signed an NDA, so since we signed an NDA, you're not going to know what they've said to us. I can tell you that we are no longer under the NDA because the game is over. So I would tell you all the information I had. I have no information. I'm not hiding anything. There's no benefit to me to hide anything at this point.
No.
So there's no spoilers for me to spoil for you. So, I know about as much as you guys know at this point.
I mean, the real truth is let's be honest, they found out that Safi's Canadian and they had to cancel the game.
That's right.
Blame Canada.
Sorry to break it to you.
No, the email was very short and felt very curated. It was like half hello, half legal department. It was okay. All right.
I don't get the emails, so definitely not under their NDA.
There you go.
Some people said, several people said that the splash screen is signed by Lisa Shu. So thank you for that. I'll have to look at it. I didn't get a chance to really look. Martin says, nothing lasts forever. I always wondered how this adventure would end. And really, after 12 years, I was not disappointed. Thanks, EA. Thanks, TSTO Addicts. A great time to be alive. Well, that's a nice comment. Thank you.
There you go.
Nice attitude.
Justin said, I will make a puzzle out of the best town. So are you offering to make a puzzle out of the best town that wins, Justin? Is that what you're offering? And then you're going to give it to them? Or are you going to make a puzzle for yourself? Give me more information. I'd like to hear more. Mad Pie says, the money drama really brings the conversation down because it's all that people talk about. I wish people would be more prepared for a mobile game ending. listen, everything has to end at some point, right? Like nothing lasts forever. So I guess except for AI, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I agree. The money, you know, don't get hung up on how much you spent in the game. If you just spent money like 2 days ago and then they did this, call them and get a refund for sure. But don't be upset that you've spent money in the game over the course of 10 plus years.
Exactly.
Well, the other thing to bring up, I don't mean to be rude about it, but the other thing to bring up is that all of us wrote posts about how to donut farm. So if you were really spending a lot of money on the game, that's on you. Because I've been donut farming for 10 years, 8 of the 10 years, you know.
I mean, time is money, right? So, like, yeah, you know, some people invested their time, some people invested their dollars, and it's all about the enjoyment you got. And I'm like, literally looking at these three faces, like, 11 years of my life was worth it. Because, you know what I mean? Like, and like, literally, I go through my town, there's a couple people that have been like, you know, giving handshakes over my buildings forever. And there's days where I'm just like, oh, like, hi. Like, I don't have a way to contact you, but yeah, it's pretty rad.
That's kind of that's the hard one for me, because there are several folks that I would like to know more about them and reach out and, you know, keep it going. Like I said, Ebron quit playing the game forever, but we've been in touch forever. She donated to Buija, you know, our African thing, for years. Fred, obviously. I mean, there's tons and tons of people that have kept in contact. So yeah, I don't know. That's the harder one.
Let's see. Pythagoras says, at least they fixed the Princess Opal glitch before the game ended. It's one good thing.
Yeah, but that the street cleaner still freaking goes over like the dirt nonstop.
Well, that's
like,
where it's dirty.
My whole town's dirty.
Patrick M says, I'm working, so can't stay. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the hard work you've put in all these years. Love you guys. Thank you, Patrick. Let's see. Mark says, so silver lining thinking, is there a TSTO 2 on the way? And Teddy Roosevelt wants to know if I didn't notice, but does anyone know if the god in the last quest has 5 fingers?
The Yahweh and God are 5-fingered, the big ones. Yeah. Just like the show.
And Joe Money said, supposedly the cap on adding neighbors is gone, so we could visit towns to determine the best one. So supposedly the 100 cap is gone. I haven't tested that theory, so I don't know the answer to that. Paul Einstone says, I just spent €70 on the Star Wars Outlaws, and it lasted me a week, so I think I've got my value for money out of TSTO. It's true.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
Jillian says, I appreciate your hard work in keeping us informed of bugs that helped our games and giving us a heads up in events. This is the only game I've been into this level, thanks to my granddaughter. Just like you, Pat. Well, not your granddaughter, but...
Yeah. We don't have I have a granddaughter. I have 6 not granddaughters. So
My granddaughter's all right.
which is funny because all you have are daughters, so...
that's right. No, the pendulum is swinging. Pendulum is swinging.
I can't wait to like tell my oldest, like, you're my not daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do. It's a weird, that's a whole different conversation. I miss the little girl energy. I got to be honest with you. Jake is a hoot, but he's now taking Taekwondo. And so we're now back to knowing how old they are by how high the bruising is on my body. These guys just never stop. So my 22-year-old still hits me, my 22-year-old grandson. So there you go.
Gigi says, I still visit my father's city regularly. He passed away. So many hours, so many memories. I will really miss this game. The updates from the Addicts too. Thanks everyone from the Netherlands.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the awe moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't even think about that. That like people's games live on beyond them.
They did.
I'm jumping to some of the site comments too. K Rune says, watching the live stream, watching live, seeing you guys together, awesome. It's awesome being all together again. It's been a while. It's been a long while.
Disneyland. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I could.
And you're reading.
It's
I've
easy.
been there. I've been there twice in the last year.
Wow.
Let's see. Somebody, Alexi says, I was 9 when I started playing. I'm 20 now. Damage says, I learned the news last night and my stomach dropped. I've been playing daily since TSTO launched on Android. It was a welcome respite several times each day. It's even offered a small bit of relief during difficult and sometimes tragic times throughout my life. I'm going to miss my tapping. Thank you, TSTO Addicts, and everyone who worked on this game.
Yeah.
It's what I think is really nice is seeing people that we haven't seen comment in a really long time, like Silly Boy and like Wandering Caveman and and even Big Phil, like, and Toxic Shark. There are names that we haven't seen in a really long time. And it's just nice to know, one, that everyone's still around. It's always nice to do, a health check. Especially at Pat's age. But two, it's nice to know. Everybody laughed. Everybody
He's the
laughed.
same age as my mom, so Pat is not old.
Okay. That's luckily all my medical stuff is still 100%, so it's all good. So.
But it's also just really nice to see that people are they're still around. They may not be as active as they once were because for whatever reason, look, I'm not as active as I once was. We all have our different reasons, but it's nice to see that people are still around. It hits me in the feels, guys. Like that's probably the best way to say it. And that's like, I get nostalgic about when we saw that, like my nostalgia went to like, oh, remember when we did this? And remember when we did this contest? Remember when we wrote this post? And Pat, do you remember when we were fighting? And do you remember this? And do you remember, like, Wookie, do you remember writing about meatballs? And, like,
oh, I do.
those kinds of things. Like, it's just, those are the things that I will take away from this more than the game itself. Yeah, I'm sad my game, is going to cease to exist. My core Springfield, I absolutely love, but as like many of us, as the game has expanded and gone on, and my time has dwindled. I don't have as much time to redesign and recreate. And so it becomes, like they said in the game, the outskirts just become where you plot buildings.
Yeah.
So I get that. And it's
I'm
like,
really,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, sorry.
I was just say it's not like I'm going to miss the game itself, but I'm more going to miss, and hopefully we can continue the community. That's more what hits me harder.
I'm really happy I got
so. We'll figure it out. I mean, the thing is that's interesting to me is that at one point I was so dialed in to knowing I had a Monday, Wednesday, Friday commitment in the mornings. I'd get up super early, 5 o'clock, because I had East Coast clients. I was up anyway. It was such a regular part of the process. And then we got into fundraising for our village in Africa, which disappeared with COVID. I mean, there's all these things that are like benchmarks. You were talking about games that you don't, or neighbors. I still have the towns that my grandkids don't play and haven't played for probably 9 years. I still have them there because it takes me back to when we played together, know? So it is weird. It's going to be weird, but I don't know. I mean, for this, what this game gave back to me is so much broader than the game itself. I mean, it's so much broader. And so compared to other things in my life that have come and gone, this one's way up there. This one really ranks up there. It was an outlet. It kept me sane, if you can believe that. So I know that people would debate whether that's a fact or not. But.
Go ahead, Wook.
No, just like about a month ago, I got really, really sick and was like home for like a week and a half. And during that time, I cleaned up my detritus pile and like redid my monorail and like took all this time. And while there's like a sad part of me, like, man, I spent all that time and it's going away. But also like my Springfield will die with dignity. Like, not to say that others, like, it's okay. Everybody's busy if you've got the slush pile or everything's in storage. But I have Christmas area that I need to finish just because it's not completely done. And then I could take my screen grabs and be like, hey, like, and I played at least every other day for like 11 years. Most of the time it's once a day, just to jump in, do something silly, maybe watch that animation that makes me laugh. And then I'm gonna go through and do every single one of the animations and watch them. Why not? Yeah, my wife will support it. It's a big time investment.
Yeah.
I'm sure Andrew's like, woo, TSTO's ended. Yeah.
Soundwave Radio was asking about keeping the Addict site up, so they must have missed the beginning part. I'm gonna keep it up for a while at least. It's not gonna end. You know, we'll see how it works post TSTO. We'll see what kind of happens, but that's still kind of to be determined. But for now, at least for the next year, it was not going to go anywhere, especially since I just had to renew the stuff. So it's not going anywhere for at least a year. And I will say, look for some posts. I'm going to try to do a post this weekend about submitting your town. We'll do some show-offs for specific things. If you guys have ideas for show-offs that you think, like, not your whole town, but like ideas for specific areas that you think are really good or like specific content, send those to me. TSTO Addicts blog at gmail.com. Or you can comment on a post about it as well. But I'm going to try to put up a post this weekend for you guys to submit your towns. If you want your entire town to be shown kind of on a live stream, we'll do that. We'll try to see how many we can do, and as time allows. I mean, you've got 4 people here with busy schedules. I know it could also just be Safi and I doing it, but Safi, everybody knows Safi's schedule is like insane because we never know where he's going to be. He's like Carmen Sandiego. But we'll try.
Wait a minute. Now we're finally at the end here on some level. Is Safi ever going to admit that he's Secret Service? That he works somewhere deep state? He's not. I don't know who you work for or what you do, but it's something very important that we really can't know who you are, right?
I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations.
I knew it.
So, but this past year, I've been spending a lot of time in Clearwater near the head of Scientology. I should just point that out.
There you go.
So, honestly, literally 2 minutes from the head office of Scientology. So yeah.
Steve,
it all comes out.
Wow.
Steve, I just want to comment on this one. So Steve said, thank you to all, but Alissa, there are people around the world who know your name. You have created a community, and today we all salute you. First of all, thank you. Again, I don't need my ass kissed. But I will say, I am one of the only people who has never been recognized in public. So if you see me somewhere and you recognize me, please, before this all ends, come up to me and say, hey, aren't you that girl from that website? Actually,
I recognize you in public all the time.
Yeah. What you have to do is you have to have a uniform.
Listen, I don't need a uniform. I have 3 kids that are like attached to me all the time.
Oh, they're a good point. All right.
So, if you see me somewhere, even if I look aggravated because I'm dealing with 3 crazy children, please make my day. Come up to me and say, "Aren't you from Addicts?" Like that'll make me feel good. So apparently my joke it went over well in the chat. The Krieger says, Safi, you must work with my brother-in-law. He too cannot say what he does. Crap, I said too much. So we will, the hard part, as Scott says, the hard part is the lack of notice. I was so looking forward to the Halloween event this year. I would always let the game run and just so I could hear the music sound. Now it's gone. Here's the good news. We have a lot of those sound effects on our website, and I have pretty much every audio from every update, and I will make sure that I retain those. So you will be able to go back and listen to those things on the site. I will try to make sure that you guys still have access to those things. But I agree that the short notice is one thing, but I guess rip the Band-Aid off.
For me, it wasn't really so much a short notice, like 120 days I thought was good, but it was more so the timing, like Pat alluded to earlier, like before THOH and Christmas. That was really the kick in the or the Hans Mollman football in the groin.
I imagine the developers being like, we don't have anything for those updates, like,
Again, though, let's go back into the reality. They were way ahead of schedule. It's not last minute at all. So they've known this is coming for a while. So that's what I'm angry about, is that they could have tipped their hand. They could have said something to at least let us know that there is no Treehouse of Horrors, or there's nothing else coming. But it's, I mean, I guess I get it. Again, you're talking about shareholders and businesses and all that stuff. I don't know.
Well,
it is what it is.
They did allude to it in the app update dialogue, which now I need to pull up because, and it said like a nice relaxing fall. And I don't think any of us knew what that meant, but it is interesting to see that. I'm just trying to find it now because I know somebody posted it in the comments. Now I need to find it.
There's so years of enjoyment, like when you look back at it, like how much, not just the community, but within the game, like everything. There's a sense of pride in everything that I accomplished, like, reaching the 2 billion real estate value, completing the friendship track. I feel like I accomplished all my goals with the exception, reaching the cap of the in-game cash, with the exception of reaching the cap of the in-game Krusty Land tokens. I remember I was like working, and I get to 4.29 million tokens, and I'm like, 429 million tokens, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it. And then it goes to like 430. I'm like, what? And then I realized, it's 429 billion, not million. So I'm 0.1% of what my goal. So that was about 2-3 years ago, and I'm like, this is never gonna happen. So yeah. Still not even at a billion, or I think I hit a billion, but yeah, it's still a long way away from reaching the Krusty Land tokens cap.
You have to live as long as I am, so.
Yeah, even then, I don't know if I actually, I then, but still, because now I've only been tapping once a day like Bookster, but yeah. Other than that, I'm feeling a lot of pride in everything that I accomplished within the game. Amassing over 800 characters and completing everything.
It's been an adventure. I'm still looking for this thing, but it's the amount of characters, the amount of money, the amount of everything. And I think EA said too, it was over 8,000 or 1,800 quest lines, something like that.
Yeah. I think,
And
it was a ton.
Yeah, I know. Like at the very, they did a good job with like the goodbye. I thought, a lot of at least enough time went into it where I was like, all right, like there's a lot of thanks, a lot of heart, using Marge appropriately, using Bart. Every character was the appropriate voice, and then like it's just to me like Homer starts it off blowing everything up, and then at the end he's like, bye. And you're like, yeah, like
that was classic. That was classic.
It's
so flummoxed for words.
It's 308 updates, 831 characters, and including the final farewell, 1,463 quest lines.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of tapping, and a lot of us have played every single one of those.
A lot of programming.
Yeah.
A lot of programming.
Well, like Wookie said, I mean, the game started with Homer blowing up his Springfield. I put it in the comments, and I'm going to have a post on it too. I'm going to end it by blowing up, nuking my Springfield. I mean, finish it the way it started. And,
do a live stream
and
nuke together.
You know what? What we need to do is see if EA will give us an actual kill date, a server kill date, and then we could do a countdown. And we could have everybody nuke it, 2 minutes before supposedly the server goes down. Everybody nukes 2 minutes before. That would mess with their server.
Well, I
thought hilarious.
The date and time, because I did make the countdown to 6 p.m. on January 24th, 6 p.m. Eastern on January 24th. I thought that was, and I was counting down like it was 119 days, 7 hours, and 26 minutes. I was like, oh.
Here we go. Here's the verbiage I was looking for. With the future saved, it looks like Springfield can finally settle down for a nice, relaxing fall. While it'll take a few weeks for everything to go back to whatever counts as normal, we're sure that this presence of time travelers and possibly rogue AI won't cause any problems at all. Right? Right. We're totally fine. Looking forward to a nice, relaxing fall. Foreshadowing.
Ooh.
Nobody read the tea leaves.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, unfortunately, most people scroll through that really quickly. Click, 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 click.
I mean, in the 11 years I've been playing this game, all the brown in my hair has disappeared practically. And now, while I like to read the dialogue, if I don't have my readers handy, I can't. So I missed it.
I encourage people to go back and look at the first time we ever did a video on Addicts, which was like, I think, our 6-month blogiversary, and look at Wookie's hair and compare. I look exactly the same. Just saying.
As do I.
Yeah, like literally.
I pay good money to hide those grays.
The brown mostly gone. It's still a little bit in here. Yeah.
As I've written before, because of my dad's curse, I was white when I was 34. So there you go. I wasn't totally white, but I was definitely mostly gray at 34. So
Yeah.
We're gonna
inevitable.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just said inevitable. Go ahead.
We're gonna try to do some things. You guys will see some posts. We're definitely gonna do the town thing. So if you want to submit your entire town, obviously we're gonna do a few of them. So some people may be ready right now. Some people may want take some more time. Obviously you have to do it before January. Just saying. But we'll do some things like that. If we want to do the big nuking thing where everybody nukes at the same time, we totally can do that. I can add up to 99 people on Skype. So, if there's more people that would like to join, we can do that. We can have everybody just nuke at the same time. And we'll do some additional show-offs, and we'll do some look-backs at events. We'll talk about we're going to do more stuff. I think it's too important to not do more things. You might see some posts. I know Pat was talking about writing a post. So we're going to do some things. The site isn't going anywhere, at least for a year, because I did just have to renew it. So we have some things in store. We're going to work on some things. We're going to have some so be on the lookout for that stuff. We'll see where schedules allow and what we can do, what we can't do as far as doing more live streams. I would like to do more. I think that now that I figured it out, why waste the ability to do this now?
There you go.
We should each do our town, like live stream our particular town where we can actually talk about it.
I mean, my town is a disaster, but sure.
I need time to, unplop my town.
I can show you why my town is a disaster.
I am willing to do my town. How about that?
Because you just confessed you spent a whole week basically building it. So there you go.
I've always done tinkering with it. Just it's sort of like a source of joy. It's my Zen moment, but I had like some detritus.
I have segments. I'm not really a plopper. I didn't become a plopper until yesterday when I grabbed everything out of my inventory. But even there, I was like, well, that goes over there. I'm going to put that over there. We'll see. I mean, there's some method to the madness. But you were kind of, if you wanted to keep your original stuff, you were kind of relegated to building suburbs one way or the other, So
yeah. Well, you can look. It's Wookie Corp, I think, is the name of my town. The 2 E's, CORP. Okay. So if you have unlimited ads, just do it, and I'll try to once a day go into the menu and say yes to people, if you want to see it.
Cool.
We'll do it on a live stream too, for sure. So we'll get together offline. We'll figure out where our schedules allow and who can do what and what we can do. Obviously I'm in my office right now, so this worked out in the middle of the day for me. But we're definitely going to do more things, so be on the lookout for that. I do also want to say real quick too, before we wrap up, I know a lot of people are asking about how to preserve your town. That's a high resolution photo. I know the whole town screen grab, takes a lot of space. I think it's like 4 to 10 gigabytes of space required for this stinking photo to work. It's a lot. And the resolution isn't so great. So what you can do, and we have posts on the site, and I can kind of do like a look back on this, you can stitch your town together which is a pain in the ass, but you can just kind of take screenshots all over and put your town together that way if you have the tedious amount of time. That's one option you can do as well. I know the towns are big, but
for those of you who don't want to write pain in the ass, just write PETA. If you remember, we like to now, particularly with all of the land and everything else, that's a lot of screen grabs to stitch.
Sure.
So
I'll
let you know.
Do
I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's not great, but it is an alternative if you want a higher resolution, closer photo. And I'll try to relink that post this weekend for everyone so you can see it. But again, look out for more stuff. We will have some posts up where you can submit your towns. We'll add you. And you can kind of we'll do some plans with viewing people's towns via live stream. You always can email us. Well, I guess email me because I'm the only one that has access to it. TSTOaddictsblog@gmail.com. And we'll do some more things. So if you have ideas for stuff that we should do, you want to talk about Easter, you want to talk about Valentine, whatever you want to do, submit those comments, submit those thoughts, and we'll try to do everything we can to kind of preserve the nostalgia of TSTO. Oh, look, penguins are back.
As a friendly reminder, Simpsons season 36 starts Sunday. There'll be a reminder post tomorrow. So if you're missing Simpsons in your game, then check it out on TV this Sunday night.
I would like a flip reversal this time where Bart gets upset that Simpsons tapped out and disappeared. I want that in an episode.
I mean, yeah.
The other thing people can do too is a lot of phones now take screen recordings, so you could just go into your town and record, just do the whole thing and do your favorite animations and take another ride on your monorail and just record video of that so you have something to preserve it. But I think that's going to do it from us. We've been talking for about an hour. I don't want to take up too much of people's time in the middle of the day. But you'll definitely, this isn't the last you're going to hear from us. So thank you for watching. Anyone else have anything else they'd like to add? No?
Watch this space.
So thank you for watching with us. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being a part of the Addicts community all these years. Thank you for contributing to our group therapy as well. Some people have said thanks for helping with closure. Thank you for helping us. And I've always said from the beginning, you guys are what makes the site come alive. Without you, it would just be words on a page. So I'm incredibly grateful to each and every one of you. I've read all of your kind messages. Thank you so much. I truly could not have done what I have done for the last 11 years without all of you. So thank you very much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You guys have watched me grow up, my kids grow up. I'm truly appreciative and grateful for each and every one of you watching and the three of you. And Graham for keeping the site going the last couple of years while I've been dealing with family things. But yeah, definitely keep watching, and we will see you all on another episode. Now I got to figure out how to end the live stream. But ooh, balloons!
Penguins! More penguins!
All right,
Where'd
guys.
that come?